Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Hunter the Reckoning, The Land Between. This is episode 4. So, let's do a little bit of a recap from last week. In particular, we had Brother and Chad, after getting some more information from the ranger about the goings on in the nearby park, The Land Between the Lakes, and after going into the woods and setting up some cameras, went back to take another little look in the area where they'd found the strange claw marks on the trees, not too far from the church that burned down. And after they did some investigation, they came across a couple young looking individuals that one's brother used his discern ability, where he can see through supernatural glamour and see the truth behind things. Saw that one of them looked like he had cracked mottled skin that kind of glue underneath it. He was wearing a hoodie, but there was definitely some brightness coming from his chest, and he was sitting there playing with a Zippo lighter. So of course the boys began to suspect he might be involved with that church burning, the very suspicious one. Alongside him was a young girl who, similarly, when Brother took a closer look at her with his discern ability, was able to see that her skin almost looked like bark and her hair was a bit more kind of like leaves and branches. Shortly after that, a large, hulking monster of a humanoid man came running through the woods, spoke with them, and disappeared into the set of trees that were tied together, their branches up top, obviously making some sort of portal entrance. The two hunters weren't entirely sure at the moment. After interviewing the two younger of the group, they didn't get too much information out of them, as they were a bit snarky and trying to be a little playful. The Chad and Brother decided to head home for the evening as it was getting late. Similarly, Father Peter Lilly and Sean Malcolm had done some investigating by reaching out to one of the families of the children who'd recently disappeared. Speaking with the father of one of the young children who disappeared, they didn't learn a whole lot, but some of the finer details did seem to continue that it was a very strange disappearance. The young man was popular at school. He always came back after, a bike ride late at night. So the mother and father are just completely at wit's ends, unsure of where he could have gone, why he's gone, why he hasn't returned. And we got, a couple dogs running in the background. So let's do quick little character intros. Just say something about yourself and your feelings about the information you gathered last session. Let's start with Kozanark as Father Peter Lilly.
Yes, I am probably most excited to finish talking to well, not excited, but interested in finishing talking to the parents um, of these children to see if we can find any sort of thread, geographic location. I don't expect much considering the police have been looking into it, but I have a sneaking suspicion that our answers are going to fall with the daughter, even though Sean and I disagree. I think we should move now, and he clearly wants to wait. But I think that's where most of our answers are going to come from. I don't really think that the mayor has many answers for us, but hopefully, following our line and his Facebook inquiries will prove fruitful, and we can learn a couple more things about what we're fighting and how to get rid of it sooner rather than later.
All right, and next we have Chard, or Super Chap the Bear, as Chad Waterlily.
How's it going? Chad is feeling even last time or last episode we heard stories of demons and the mayor's daughters and all this stuff, and now he actually got to see them last week. So he doesn't understand the way we're supposed to go about this. Are we supposed to just take them out right away, or what is going on? Because we left them in a pretty peaceful manner. They didn't seem to want to hurt us. We didn't want to seem to hurt them. So if they're even connected with our business in the city, who knows? But yeah, Chad is just thirsty to go and find out.
And last but not least, we have Modi Answers as Sean Malcolm.
So again, I'm gonna have to say that I'm just not excited to dive headfirst into anything. We still barely are scratching the surface, and of course, the preacher is screaming demon at everything. We still don't know what's going on, and we need to figure it out. That, sure, every life saved matters, but if we figure out and understand what we're hunting, we can potentially have the ability to save thousands in the future. If the other watchers are given this knowledge of what we're fighting, and we're actually able to sit down and study and figure them out, we might be able to make progress in this war as opposed to just continual damage control. So again, I'm going to side on the side of caution that we should continue to figure them out, but we'll see what happens when we meet back up with Chad.
All right. So it is the next morning. Chad had been dropped off by Brother. Brother had his own, hotel room nearby. Father Peter Lilly, I believe you were staying at St. Thomas's? No, that's the other church. You are staying at the Church of the Holy Cross.
I was gonna say Path of the Holy Cross.
Yeah. So you're staying at a nearby church, and Sean is also in another hotel room. So early morning. Tell me what you guys are thinking. If you want to try and meet up immediately, Sean, you had some of this computer work going on.
Yeah, so I'd been conversing with the mayor's daughter on Facebook and just trying to get a general feel from it. And yeah, so I think the next step, I guess, would be the interview. Just continue with the interviews. The next day, we have the meetup with Dude Man's daughter, or Dude Man's wife. The next day, no, we have a second meetup with him. His wife's not there. She was specifically going when she's out shopping just to inspect his room and some other things. But
and I and I don't recall if last week I gave you this bit of information, because you definitely got the friend request accepted by Suzanne, the daughter of the mayor. But if you went trolling through her page into the past, about a few years ago, and you would see like probably higher up at the top anyway, because of like timeline kind of big events on someone's page. A few years ago, there would be some posts from friends and other students at the school saying like, so glad you made recovery, so happy to have you back. So it looked like she had undergone some sort of a major medical issue.
Thank you. That was the next big thing I was going to do, was try to get as much information on that accident as I possibly could.
Right, yep, I wanted to make sure I didn't forget that. All right, and so Father Peter Lilly.
Yes.
What are you doing first thing in the morning? You gonna reach out to Sean? You gonna go out on your own?
I thought he doesn't wake up till like 10 a.m. But no, I'll probably pray. I get up at 5, so I'll probably pray, go get breakfast at the school that's attached to the church. And I guess mill about. I did some research on some of the things I learned, or some of the things I saw in Chad's apartment. But yeah, other than that, I'd probably just wait around until Sean gets a hold of me, waiting to do those interviews, and also to see if the what was his name? The guy calls about us looking at his kid's room. I gave him and his wife my phone number, so. And I think they also have Sean, so either Sean calls me to go see him, or he calls me. I think he said that was around noontime. Before that, like I said, I can't drive, so I probably mill about the church waiting on Sean.
All right, and Chad Waterlily.
Chad would probably wake up semi latish, but he doesn't. No, he has a land phone. I'll give Sean a call probably first thing in the morning and see what we are doing for the day. I don't have a car, so I don't exactly have the best way of getting around. So I'll probably tag along with them.
All right, so morning passes by for each of you. You perform, your regular morning rituals. Father Lily does some prayers. Chad probably takes a couple swigs of something he has tucked away. And Sean wakes up, probably opens up his laptop, checks a couple things. And then a little closer to noon, Sean, you'll get a call from Chad.
This is Sean Malcolm.
Sean, it's Chad.
Good to hear from you. How was your evening?
Fuck, man, I don't even know where to begin. We went into the woods, and we went looking for. We didn't even go looking for anything. We just went to go set up those cameras, and some fucking kids showed up, and some monster beast ran in, and then he teleported away, and then those fucking kids turned into something. Fucking fairies, man, fairies. I don't. Is this normal? Is this what you guys do? Is this fucking real, man?
Hey, Spira, could you fix the overlay? I accidentally turned off my camera, and it completely swapped us up.
Next time it happens, I'm leaving it.
Let's play each other's characters.
Nice. What'd you say, boy?
Okay, that's a. Let's start at the beginning. You were tracking two kids through the woods. How old were they?
We weren't tracking them, man. You remember we were supposed to get the trail cams, set them up around the weird tree thing, and that was what we're just trying to do. And they were using it, and it was just like I fucking said, man. A teleporter, a fucking I don't know. The monster used it, and then he disappeared. I don't know why he needs it. I don't know where it goes, but he stood there and then disappeared. I think those fairy creatures knew we were there the whole fucking time, but waited for him to leave until they came and confronted us.
Look, where are you right now? We should discuss this with Father.
I'm at my hotel. The same one.
Okay, we've been there, so yeah, I know where that is. Look, just stay there. Have a bite of something to eat. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Let me put on some pants and just we'll pick up the Father's, circle the wagons and figure out what exactly happened.
Yeah, man. All right, sounds good. I'll just hurry up.
All right. Like I said, I'll be in just a few minutes.
You'll hear the phone actually hit the receiver because it's one of those old school landline phones.
That's a second. That takes me back. So yeah, I guess my next thing is quickly throw on pants, grab the laptop, and drive out to Chad's to pick him up, or Father Lily's, whichever's closest. I mean, just pick them both up and get everything.
I think Chad is kind of on your way, but they're not. They're about same distance.
Okay. So I'd probably have to then stop and pick up Chad first. Then pick up Father Lily.
Yep, you'd probably find Father Lily out in kind of walking the grounds, tapping along the sidewalks, just hanging out, enjoying the sun.
What's Chad's demeanor when I pick him up? Is he freaking out? Is he?
He looks like he probably didn't sleep too much the night before and is probably tied a couple on. He's probably looking a little bit loosey goosey and just like staring off, like just he's not like freaking out or anything, but he's just fucking staring. Just can't believe what happened last night.
Okay. So I'll get both of them, and once they're both in the car, I'll just turn to Chad. When was the last time you had something warm?
Something what, man?
When was the last time you had a warm meal?
Oh, yesterday, brother took me out for breakfast.
We should stop and get something to eat. Get some coffee and you something, and discuss what it, fill in the father here on what exactly he told me.
Yeah.
Is there any diners around?
Spears or
Yes,
okay.
there are definitely a couple diners, especially like nearby, closer to a main road. There's going to be like a traditional kind of truck stop diner, big parking lot for trucks that are traveling with cargo and everything to stop and grab a small bite of crappy food and mud coffee.
Is there any slightly nicer diners?
Yes, there's some nicer diners.
Maybe where they don't make the coffee off of mud flaps.
Yeah, there are a couple other places. There's one that looks like it's very like kind of family friendly. This early on, I believe it's Sunday. It's actually pretty quiet because most people have gone to church.
Perfect.
Why don't we head to a diner? My treat. If we could, I prefer it not be a truck stop. Hope that doesn't sound offensive.
No offense taken. Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, we'll go. When we get there, just grab a booth, sit down, and order everyone coffee.
Yeah, I'll take a menu and just kind of like look through it.
So
Well, I'll hold it up in front of me and just pretend to look at it, basically.
do you need assistance, Father, or?
Oh no, I'm quite good.
Diner. You shouldn't be surprised by anything on that.
Exactly. Unless their filet mignon is delicious, I think I know what I'll get.
So, Chad, can you repeat what you were telling me on the phone for the father here?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so the trail cams. We're going out there to get the trail cams set up around those weird trees, and he'll kind of look around. Is there anyone like near us? Is it busy?
There's an old couple in the off to the far corner in a booth, just quietly talking to themselves, and like another young couple with a couple kids that they're just trying to keep under control, so they're not really paying attention to any of you.
Okay.
Did you say it was Sunday, so everyone's at church?
Yeah.
Oops.
You're busy. You're doing God's work otherwise.
No, I went to morning mass. 5 a.m.
Yeah, no, it's almost like 1 o'clock now.
So we went to go set up those trail cams. When we were there, we heard some kids talking. So we hid. They went around. It was a small tracks, I'm assuming, that I found around the trail. They went straight for the tree and they just sat there. And this fucking monster comes running out of the woods and talks to him like no big deal. And he uses the teleporter.
Was there a teleporter?
Yeah, man, those fucking trees that were tied together, like I told you guys, the tracks lead up to him and then just disappear.
You mean that fetish?
I don't.
The twine and sticks.
Yeah, no, just the tree branches that were tied together. The tree branches that were tied together.
But it wasn't like, one of the like pads on the ground from Star Wars, was it?
There was no
there's no mechanical
noise or something.
Okay.
yeah,
An
no,
odd colloquialism. That's all.
anyways, there's no mechanical lights shooting up into the air. It was just, you just went in, flash of light, gone. Spirit, you can tell, is that wrong? Was there a flash of light, right?
There was, especially for a brother who was watching it, there was sort of a glow of light, but it wasn't like a lightning flash, just sort of where he went, like where his space of body was. There was some glow of light.
Right. And okay, so there's monster thing, giant monster running through the woods, comes in and uses the teleporter, and if that doesn't get weird enough, the kids turn into these like fucking I don't know. One of the kid looked like she was made out of trees, and there was a boy there playing with the Zippo, and he looked like he was made out of trees, but like burning, like coals, like the shit in the fire after the flames go away, kind of a thing. Like he's like red inside, and we talked to him. They knew we were there, and brother just talked to him, and we didn't shoot him, and we just gave ourselves up, and then we just walked out of there after brother had some words with him, and it's too much, man. It's fucking too much. Brother kind of just lays his head on Chad just lays his head kind of just on the table.
One of the 6-year-olds I was with the family off to the corner goes screaming by, and you hear the mom, young kind of early 20-ish woman, comes streaking by as well. Josephine, you get back here!
As that happens, Sean's gonna, kind of look off to the side, slightly pained look on his face, and just turn back to the two of you. Chad, I'm good to see. I'm glad that you're fine, but do you feel like you were followed out of there? I mean, it just seems odd they let you guys just. You got away so easily without any conflict.
I don't get it, man. Is this part of it? Do we coexist with them? Do we not always just hunt them? Like, why didn't brother? We had him dead to rights. We could have gunned him down, but instead he walked out with his hands in the air and just started talking to him.
Perhaps he didn't feel that the meeting was that it wasn't a trap of some kind. Like you said, there was the beast that you had seen disappear shortly before, but who knows if it returned and was lurking behind you, if it was waiting for an opportunity. Who knows?
If there's one thing I'm good at, man, it's stalking things and watching them. And no, there's nothing following us. We got out of there clean. I don't get it. Brother threatened the beast thing, and the kids just laughed as if like it was no problem at all. And I don't know if they just don't think we're a threat or what it was, but no, we weren't followed. I mean, they saw us. They know who we are. Or they don't know who we are, but they saw us.
And how old did you say that you think the kids were?
Spira, how old do I think the kids are?
They looked like probably early high school.
So not possibly middle school?
They looked a little older. They looked probably more like 15.
And what was the description of the boy?
So what Chad would have been able to tell you, especially because he would have seen them without discern, is that the young boy had sort of short brownish hair, about 15, so a little taller, into his teens. The young girl had long, like, mousy brown kind of hair. Both of them kind of not too distinguished, not a lot going on with their features, both kind of skinny. But then the other side description was that the young boy's hair started moving kind of like flames. There was like a glow from his chest, even underneath the hoodie he was wearing. His skin looked cracked, like charcoal, kind of as Chad said. And then the girl had more traditional, like just bark looking skin, and her hair was more like weeping willow, like just soft branches with leaves on them.
Okay. So I was just making sure that the guy didn't match Timothy Evans' description whatsoever. Okay. So any other? Sure that you've covered everything you remember at this point.
Yeah.
Did you manage to actually get? You got the camera set up.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, oh god, oh fuck. Oh yeah, we were supposed to call you last night, man. I guess did brother call you last night?
No.
No, I never heard from him.
Okay, so how much do you know about trail cams?
I'm gonna like finish my coffee and like put my arm up. Where is this waiter? How long is this waiter gonna sit here without giving us food?
Good point.
I'm gonna sit there. I'm sorry, Sean, but we must eat. Simply, this is unacceptable. Too much business before breakfast is bad for the soul.
So, old woman from around the counter sees her arm come up and comes slowly shuffling up to your table. Is there anything I can help you with?
I'll gesture to you two. What would you gentlemen like?
Can I get toast, a double side of bacon, and do you have just like sliced tomato or something? It'll be fine.
Oh, gracious, no one ever served you yet? She takes out a little notebook and she shakes her head. You can hear her mumbling about a young woman's name and looks back to the kitchen and starts writing down your order. And for you, she'll nod her head towards Chad.
Chicken, fried steak, extra gravy, sourdough bread, eggs over easy, hash browns.
All right. And how about you, Father?
I would love an omelet, please. If you could do a cheesy omelet with mushrooms.
All right.
And a side of bacon. And get an omelet for my friend here. And I'm going to point at Sean. You're not just eating that. You're not eating bread, bacon, and tomatoes.
I don't like eggs.
Well, what do you like? You can't just eat tomatoes and bread.
Hunter, the ordering. All right, so she finishes taking down your orders, taps it with her pen, and shuffles off to the kitchen. You can hear after her, she had a quite quiet little, like, granny voice, but then you hear this uncharacteristic barking in the back of the kitchen.
As I was saying, man, trail cams, how much do you know about them?
They can't be that much different than just a normal camera. I mean, I've messed with webcams. I mean, I've worked in security, so I understand the typical cameras and other things.
So they take photos. Depending on the way that you set them up, they can take photos every second. They can take photos every 10 seconds as long as they detect movement. And I fucking guarantee these cameras got, I don't even know how many photos of these kids, but brother might have told the ranger to have the photos just upload to his computer, which means he might have a couple dozen photos of monsters and weird forest children on his computer right now.
Well, worst comes to worst, all they have is some kids playing pranks in the woods. But with recent kids going missing, I don't think it's going to bode well for their activity.
It might have also captured the monster. I mean, like, I would be
a horse wearing prosthetics.
It didn't look like a horse, man. It didn't look like a horse.
Glitchy camera. some shadows, a bird flew overhead at the wrong time. How many times have you looked at papers before you found out and thought, how ridiculous? Bigfoot, it couldn't possibly be. Someone saw a UFO. There's no way. Ghosts in the woods. Who gives a damn? No one pays attention to it. At best, it's difficult to explain.
Those are doctored photos that someone had their hands on and then put on the internet. This is a direct link from a camera straight to a computer. Like, that's not, it's not the same thing.
You don't know they were doctored photos. They could have been real photos.
Either way, guys, this is all besides the point. I can look after we eat. I have an appointment I need to get to. Chad, it might just be best if you stay in the car while Father and I get to it. But after
Life isn't home. I'm sure we can bring Chad in.
And
maybe his skills will be useful.
He is the intern.
We can say that he's actually adept at noticing, tracking people. Maybe there's something useful. Trail of dirt, broken twig in his window. I don't know. I certainly am not very good at it myself.
What are you guys doing?
We're looking into the kids who've gone missing in the past few months. We have an appointment to take a look at the room of one of them, so we can see if anything's up.
I would find it hard-pressed that the father who's just lost his child is going to close the door on unorthodox means at this point, especially with how little he's heard from the police.
So, since we're done with that appointment, we can figure out what to do about the ranger station, or the ranger's desktop.
Whatever you guys need me for, man. Just if you need my eyes, let me know. As far as investigating missing kids, I'm a little bit better at hanging out in the woods and tracking that stuff, but I try and help as much as I can.
More eyes on the situation are better. Has the father called us at all? He said he'd give us a call or a text or something.
Yeah, he said around the afternoon. So you guys have been at the diner for a little while. As you guys continue chatting for a bit, the waitress or older woman is going to come out with all your plates, like kind of just stacked along her arms, sets them all down, scoots back to the diner counter, gets you guys some coffee, and then asks if you need anything else. If you don't, she'll go back to her work. And as you guys dig into your food, after a little while, I think it was Sean, he got the number exchanged with, so Sean's phone will ring, with the number for, David Evans.
So go ahead and answer it. Just, hi, this is, Sean Malcolm.
Hey, this is, David Evans. You came by the other day, asking about Timothy.
Yeah. Are we still on for this afternoon?
Yeah. My wife will be out of the house for a couple hours. If you can come by shortly.
Yeah, I'll just wrap up what we're doing here, and we'll be by in the next, 20, 30 minutes.
All right. Just pull up. I'll probably just be waiting outside.
Sure. I will see you then. Hang up.
All right. So I'm just gonna assume you guys finish eating, pay your bill, and scoot along. Not much more going on at the diner. So you guys all pack up into Sean's car?
Correct.
Sure.
All right, and head over back to David Evans' house. As you pull up, Chad hadn't seen it before, but as a minor description, it's a small, one-floor rancher type. But you can see the front yard and around to the back. If you take a look, it's definitely very well taken care of. Husband and wife, either way, are both both obviously like interested in gardening and keeping the place looking trim and lovely. As you pull up, you'll see David, tall man, short dark hair, trimmed very like kind of low cut. Decent build, looks like a blue collar worker. He's just sitting on his front steps, just jeans and sneakers with an old work shirt on.
So Chad, are you getting out of the car with us, or are you going to sit this one?
He'll ask before you guys get out of the car if he what he should do.
Like, it's fine if you can.
It's you're an old man, Chad. You can choose if you would like to come in and see if you can help. If you don't think you can wait here.
I don't even. I'm assuming you guys like maybe explain a little bit more in the car what was going on with this whole situation, because like we have not been doing anything together pretty much this whole time.
Oh yeah, we explained that it was the missing kid, one of the missing kids, and we're checking out his bedroom to see if there's any signs of him going missing, why, how, and we probably told you that there doesn't seem to be any motivation. This is highly uncharacteristic of the child himself. Good child, always came home, did well in school, no reason to just disappear one day.
You know, with Chad's past of being a kid and having a supernatural presence, he would definitely go in.
So we'll get out and I'll go ahead and approach David, walk to him and just, hi David, it's good to see you again. As you know, I'm here with Father Lily, and this is another associate of ours, Chad Waterloo. He's a tracking and survival expert who we have on retainer with us in order to just assist us with any of the searching or any of the things like that.
So David stands up and strides powerfully toward all of you with his hand straight out for Sean, shakes his hand as he gets closer, and nods in the direction of Father Lily's. Father, good to see you, and turns to Chad. So you're with this gang here?
Chad will reach out a hand and shake it. Yeah, yes.
Well, guess there's no time to waste. Come along, and he'll lead you to the front door into his home. Inside, it is just as quaint and lovely as it is outside in the garden. The wife obviously kind of, has all these nice photographs down the hallways. It's rather clean. Only bit of mess you can see is some newspapers here and there on the tables, a couple glasses on the kitchen table. You can see sort of down the way. It looks like it goes off to the left into some bedrooms and then right into the living area. And then there's another little kind of hallway past that. So he walks you through the living room and out in that direction. And down another hallway, you can see a set of doilies in the bathroom. It's very quaint and quiet. And he opens a door that had a couple band posters and a sticker for Adidas on the front door on the door. So he opens it up. And you see a very typical kind of high school kid's room. Definitely was into athletics, has, different things for a few different sports, but definitely has a couple posters of famous athletic runners. And he's got a messy bed and stereo set, things like that. Otherwise, from a quick glance, nothing stands out too much.
Does he have a desktop or a laptop?
Yeah, he does on his desk. He has a small desk with a laptop on it. It's got, more stickers of music things. And then, just a chair. There's a bookshelf with a mix of books, CDs, things like that.
Do a quick look around, and then I'll go ahead and boot up his laptop and see what I can find there.
I rolled for vision.
Yep, and I see you got plenty, so you're able to see around just fine.
Well, specifically looking for supernatural anything. Any items that are supernatural in ways. I don't know. A crystals or some weird ass stuff.
The bedroom actually doesn't have anything that immediately shines out to you inside the room. But if you poke around, you might see a tiny shimmer along the windowsill.
I will check that out closer. I'm gonna roll for it.
Yeah, just give me a perception awareness. And Sean, you're booting up the laptop. David walks in the room with all of you, but just stays near the door frame, has his arms folded. His look is very much that he doesn't want to actually, take too much in of the room. He's kind of just staring at his feet.
I'll hear him walk up and just be like, "You don't have to be here if it's uncomfortable for you. We promise we won't take or disturb things."
No, I understand. I'd rather be here, though. I can answer any questions you have.
That's fine. We appreciate it.
Sir, do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Go right ahead. And real quick for Father Lily, if you get closer to the windowsill, and you'll even kind of notice David squinting a little confused at you walking through the room without too much aid. But you get a little closer to the windowsill, and you'll
I
see...
do have my cane with me, so I would be tapping.
Okay. But you get closer to the windowsill, and you'll see what looks kind of like fingerprints. Not fingerprints. Full like fingers, like if a hand was like resting there, but it doesn't go past where the actual window closes. So it looks like someone was maybe just standing there looking in.
Is there any like trees outside the window or ways things would climb up here?
It's a first story.
Oh. Is there anything like looking through the window on the other side?
You can see more of a shimmering trail, but it does seem to fade away after a little while. And Chad, you had questions for David.
Oh, do you have his backpack, or is that also gone?
No. He takes a small bag out with him, just, keeps his cell phone and a couple things just to have with him in case of any emergencies. And he starts walking over to a closet that's off to the side, opens it up, and takes it out. This is his school backpack, though.
Do you still have his cell phone?
No, he would have had it on him when he went out.
Okay.
We tried calling it plenty of times.
Chad will take the back, if you don't mind, if I go through it.
Please. And he hands it off to Chad.
Chad will go through and look for something that's out of, like, I don't know, some kind of notebook that the kid might write things in outside of schoolwork and whatnot.
You go through, there's a binder with a lot of papers that are organized. Again, this kind of tells you that this kid, he was doing well in school. He actually organized his homework, and everything looks pretty well filled out. There are 2 notebooks. One's a little thicker, but if you flip through it, it looks like it's actually just notes from school and some doodles. The other one does look like it's more of a, maybe personal notes. And there's a lot of statistics about the school's track, things that just look like the kind of goals and things he wanted to accomplish.
If I could look around the room for some kind of notebook or journal or some shit like that. Diary.
Give me a perception alertness.
So many tabs open. One success.
Okay. You spend a little time rifling around. You check underneath the bed and a nightstand and everything like that. Eventually, in a drawer in the desk, you do find a smaller notebook that has sort of date locks that look like pretty much almost every day. And it just has some spare notes here and there of things he saw while he was out on town.
Yeah, I'll go through the very back and see if there's anything that seems out of the ordinary or supernatural or someone following him or uneasy feelings.
Yeah, so if you do that, you do see in the last few entries that he was riding around in the land between the lakes, and within the last couple entries, he said he's been feeling perhaps he shouldn't head out that way because of the strange happenings, but he's also been pretty curious. He has noticed that there's been less animals around, especially on the quieter trails he'll sometimes take.
But the father said he sticks around the city.
Yes.
Okay.
And Sean, you're looking into the laptop. Is there anything specific you're trying to find?
No. The main thing was I was just going to boot it up and see if there's anything unusual. Quick, just browser history search, things like that. Check his documents and other things and see if there's just anything hidden in obscure places and just if anything stands out.
No, laptop looks pretty standard. Like, if you check his browser history, it looks like he didn't even necessarily use, say, incognito, so there's just a mess of all kinds of different things in there.
What percentage is porn? Like, a healthy teen percentage?
I mean, yeah, and you can see the later time frame when that is, and then earlier in the mornings, Reddit. And same with his folders, there's really messy folders of obviously illegally downloaded music and some photos saved, things like that. Doesn't look like he even knew really well how to hide anything. But nothing really stands out, not even any like diary entries. The thing that Chad found would be the best.
On a whim, I'm just gonna do a search for files that had a create date of a year ago, whenever that accident was, just sometime around then to see if there was anything particularly unusual that stands out.
If you search his files, you won't come across anything, but if you if you go to Facebook, he's automatically logged in, and if you check his, you'll see some people talking about it because he went to the same high school as Suzanne. It doesn't look like he commented directly to her, so you could assume that they weren't specifically close in school. But you definitely see his friends and other people commenting about how crazy it was, and no one thought, and a couple even meaner comments of wow, I never thought she'd come back from that.
Real, just so I'm straight in my head, how old's the kid we're looking for?
He was freshman, so he is 14 or 15.
And didn't we say that she was already unnaturally young?
Yes.
But they went to school together?
Well, his
they
friends.
Were both at the same high school.
He goes to the same high school that she was going to. His friends were saying things about it.
So they're at least within 4 years of each other then.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so she's not 20 years old. That's all I was trying to figure out. Trying to narrow that gap down of exactly how screwy is she.
Little screwy, nothing crazy. Yeah, not like she looks 15 but 21, more like it looks more like a freshman junior but should be heading towards college age.
I'll kind of walk back over from the windowsill and see what I guess check out what Chad's looking at. find anything?
He kind of looks at father and then at the father of the kid, kind of giving a face of like, I don't know, like he's giving a face of uncomfortableness of discussing the case in front of the father. Not that you can see it, but you can see it, but you can't.
David is just standing there still, like, arms crossed, pretty solid, just waiting to hear anything from you guys.
God damn it. He was getting weird feelings going around the land between the lakes. He felt like he shouldn't have gone or been going there.
Hold on. Going when? Did they go on a trip?
I'll look at the post date of it. Not post date, the date of it.
Yeah, it's about 2 months ago, right around the time when he disappeared.
Is there an exact date? You don't
Doesn't
have to give.
exact.
Yes.
You don't have to give me one, but So I'll tell you the date of it. About 2 months ago, right when he left on blah 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 blah.
I'll turn and look towards the door, towards father, or his father, the kid's father. So many fathers going on. This is weird. I thought you said he doesn't go out of the city.
So David is actually going to walk up to Chad, who has the notebook, and take it out of his hands and start reading the entries. And David shakes his head a bit. He's gone out in the park before, but you're not supposed to go out there that late anyway, so that's why I wouldn't have expected him to. This is a bit strange.
It's okay. It's a clue.
If he was to go out there on a ride with some of his friends, what would be the name of the boys that he would go with?
Timothy usually would just go riding out on his own. I mean, I can get you some names of his friends, but this is just something he liked to do at night.
Well, clearly he was expanding the times and areas he was going. Maybe he went there with someone else.
It's possible. Maybe made some new friends at school and just didn't mention it.
Yeah, if it wouldn't be too much of a bother if I get some of his closer friends, the boys he is on the track team with, and some of the people that he would just hang out on more of a daily or weekly.
Yeah, of course. He'll actually rip a page out of the back of the notebook, like a blank one, and go digging up a pen off of his desk, and he'll write down about 3 or 4 names, first and last names, and then, like, after a moment before he hands it to you guys, starts writing on it some more, and writes, you see, like, names above each one, and he'll hand it over. So these are probably the 3 or 4 boys I see Timothy hanging out with the most outside of school, the ones he actually says he's going out with. These are their parents' names as well. I'll be honest, I don't know them that well, so you're on your own about bothering them, and I can at least tell you for Derek's folks, they don't take too kindly to strangers.
That's fine, man. Just I'm sure we can have it. Will just be a conversation. If they don't want to have one, that's up to them. And does he say the list out loud, or does he just write it down and hand it to us?
He just writes it down and hands it to you, but he mentioned Derek, like, specifically just because he was saying, like, parents might not be too happy about random folks.
Gotcha.
I can send that to you, though.
Okay, yes, do that.
I will do that over break.
Thanks.
All right. It is about the hour, actually, so let's take a little break. We'll do a couple AMAs. Who would like to stay? All right, we'll do Chard or Super Chocolate Bear, which will get your name updated soon. As Chad Waterlily, go ahead and ask him questions. Anybody else want to follow? Okay. All right, but we'll start with Chard as Chad Waterlily. Go ahead and ask him questions about himself as a player or as a character.
Yeah. No, it's chocolate, Zabani. You go fuck yourself. I capitalized that I to look like an L. I mean, come on. Of course, Super Chocolate Bear is going to be taken.
Should have charred clip bear.
Just trying to get away from the whole chard thing, man.
I mean,
And
just
DTY.
chard alone doesn't ruin anything.
It doesn't, but that chard's already taken. That's why I had to go to chard DTY. Super Choco I8 Bear? I don't know. Doesn't roll off the tongue too easily.
I mean, marketability is key.
For sure. And now I can easily, do the emotes of bears and chocolate and supers. So easy peasy.
We were actually wondering who's going to be your white guy best friend.
my white guy best. I mean, that would just be a best friend in the scenario since all there are just white guys.
I'm just saying. Well, no, you could bring in like a third person, like a third non this group
Bring
person.
in an NPC
An
to
independent
be
black guy. This is the independent black guy. We're not doing stereotypes here.
He's not going to be friends with any of you guys. He has to bring in his own friends just to get away from it.
Independent contracted friend. We were actually sitting down trying to nail down the Scrubs personalities, and it was difficult.
Of just this game?
Well, the group in general, between the VTM group, this group, and the Friday group.
Okay, so not our players, but like the actual people.
Yeah, the players, not the characters.
Yeah. I don't think any of us would be maybe a drunk Modi would be a Dr. Cox, but that's as close as we could get to him.
It's difficult. I forget what Spira recommended for Modi. I think he made him Jordan. Or she made him Jordan.
Which one?
I'll accept that. Dude, Jordan?
Jordan's
One of the
Cox's
best.
wife.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, it is kind of Modi.
Wait, so does that make you Dr. Cox, Costner?
Maybe?
Are
I'm
we
as-
married? Did we get married?
We're married. That's it. We're married now.
I
Alright,
accepted full responsibility that I'm Elliot.
Yeah, Spear's definitely Elliot.
Because apparently I'm Jordan and Costner would be Dr. Cox. So.
Oh no, I said you were Jordan, so I know.
Who's JD?
I
That's-
don't know. Zabani, I guess?
Zabani was my
Zabani?
guess.
Because he's silly and fun like JD.
What about Rev? Rev could be a JD.
That was the difficult one. I'm like,
Wouldn't
Rev can be
more a
janitor.
Chocolate bear? No, Rev would be janitor.
Rev is janitor.
there you go. Perfect.
Zabani, you're JD.
And so who's Turkleton?
Obviously,
I mean,
oh god.
He's super
don't
chocolate
make
bear.
us say it.
I wasn't even going to ask. Like I figured. I knew where it was going.
Why? Just because his name is Chocolate Bear, he immediately becomes Chocolate Bear? Is that how this works?
I
Actually,
just said it.
JD calls Turkleton Super
I-
Chocolate
I know,
Bear in an
I know.
episode. So I mean, it works.
I don't know who Articus would be, so that's another.
Articus would be who's the like workout jockey one that
The
walks
Todd.
around all the time?
What?
The Todd.
The Todd.
I said Elvish would be Bob Kelso on his nice days.
Oh, nice.
Not his mean days, his nice days. Goofy, happy Kelso.
Oh, who's the sassy black nurse?
Carla, and she's Dominican.
What? No, she's black.
She's Dominican.
In real life?
Yeah.
And in the show.
It's the running joke. Everyone calls her like Puerto Rican or black or something.
She actually like flipped out on Turk for that because he kept calling her like Puerto Rican. She's like, I'm Dominican, god damn it.
Alright, let's do an AMA for Modi real quick. I don't know if we have any questions, but we'll take a little bit for that. Ask Modi answers questions about himself as a player or about Sean Malcolm the character.
I just want to point out that it's not Zabani who got the gender bent character. It was me.
He's already got so many.
Oh my god. What's my
Plus,
favorite?
who's really like angrier and sassier than Jordan?
You're not wrong. See, the problem with that question, Graham, is I have failed in my duty, and it's probably been 5 years since I watched the series. So I'm a little out of specific episodes.
Obviously, we're just gonna stream that all weekend.
Yeah, apparently now my weekend is going to be watching Scrubs. So thank you, because I now need to refine what my favorite episode is. I have a lot of vague memories of certain things that were fantastic, but I don't have a specific episode at this point.
We're gonna get there and see with like birthday canceled watching Scrubs. Like walk in the door like, well, thanks for coming, see you guys.
Yes, that is exactly what Malcolm found on this guy's computer.
Just quietly takes out his USB drive. Don't mind me.
Actually, that was going to be the next thing he was going to do, was download the hard drive, in case it's relevant later.
Yep.
The kid has a really good stash.
I mean, he's a high school kid with a laptop that his dad apparently doesn't look on.
Well, it seems like the dad trusts the kid, so.
I mean, and the kids obviously didn't do anything that to break that trust. So, see, this is the worst. Is you have to have a kid from a nice household with a loving dad. He could be a crazy mom for all I know, but fantastic dad, good kid, and you have to make this one go missing. Why can't? You're a terrible human.
Why couldn't the
Because
freaking
it's
mayor's
World of
daughter go
Darkness.
missing?
Alright, Chard looks like he's taking a step out for a minute, but otherwise we'll essentially get back to the game. You guys are all still in the room with
We're
Dave.
missing 1/3 of our players.
I'm just saying, you guys are back in the room. David is still standing there. He looked through the notebook and put it back down on the desk. He had given the list of names. Really? He had given the list of names to Chad. So,
Chad suddenly not there. The list falls on the ground. Ghost confirmed.
more portals. Sean, are you doing anything other than copying the hard drive?
No, I'll grab just a quick copy of the hard drive and just say, this is the dad question when I load in an external hard drive and start downloading or taking a backup of this hard drive.
No, he has his arms crossed, still just watching quietly, just keeping an eye on what you're doing, but otherwise not too worried about it since he trusted you guys enough to come in here and get some information.
It's not like they've done anything outrageous anyways. And I guess other than that, while that's downloading, is just do one last check around the room, the whole, check the air vents and see if anything's stashed in there, under the bed, check the mattress to see if there looks like there is a cut in it or anything where something's hidden inside. Just, kind of standard. Where would I be a kid and hiding my marijuana? Sean doesn't know where you would hide marijuana, but
Yeah, the kids' room looks pretty clean otherwise.
Okay.
And now father has disappeared. He's trying to see if the puppy needs to go out. Alright, but Chad, are you, looking to do anything else in the room? You got this list of kids?
I'll look around to see if there's any, like, I don't know, any sign that something broke into the room to take. Like, I don't. Yeah, I want to see if there's any kind of markings that would either come from the monster that I saw or the tree Bernie weird people.
Okay. I'm not even gonna make you roll for it. You don't have discern, so other than what father saw, you don't see any signs that would really like clue you in. There's like no fire damage. There's nothing that seems out of the ordinary in that aspect.
All right, sounds good. Then I don't believe so.
Okay. 1 second. Alright, you two talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm gonna send Chad that list of names.
Yeah.
So, I don't think we have anything else really to inspect. That it's probably moving on at this point. Of course, neither of us know what the father found. It's not he's going to tell us in front of the kid's dad, but
What you drinking, Modi?
so this is just Kugel, watermelon shandy. Was seeing how it stands up next to Hell or High watermelon, and it's a little bit sweeter, but surprisingly less watermelony. So overall, not as good, but it's drinkable.
Yeah,
Manly.
we had thought the exact same thing. Sweeter and not as much watermelon. Oddly enough, like you thought maybe that would tie together, but yeah, Hell or High watermelon's still the best.
The manliest beer to be drinking.
Dude, I will take all the flag for drinking Hell or High watermelon because that thing is wonderful.
All right, so it sounds like everybody has wrapped up in the room unless Father has anything else he wants to double check. All right, so David will, very politely walk you guys outside and stand with you near the front steps of his house and just say, you, you fellas think you found anything good, or is this just another waste of time?
I don't want to necessarily get your hopes up falsely because, again, this is going to be trying for you these past 2 months. But there's a couple of things that I have a suspicion of something going on. But again, it's just a hunch at this point. I feel like I'm looking at something and I haven't quite figured out the pattern. We'll see. There could be something, but at this point in time, I don't want to give you false hope.
David nods his head, and you see him like kind of massaging one of his shoulders. Just, I appreciate it. Anything more you can find out, if you got more questions as you keep looking into this, you've got my phone number. So, and like I said, that's my direct cell, so you don't have to worry about catching the wife.
Of course, and the moment we learn anything further, I'll let you know immediately. And again, I just appreciate your cooperation with this. It's obvious you're a good father, and it's a shame that something like this had to happen to you.
No, I thank you for that.
All right. Unless anyone else has anything.
Nope.
Get back in the car.
Yeah, so David will just probably stand by his steps until you guys leave, and if you look, you'll see him just sort of wander slowly around the side of his house to the backyard.
And with that, once we all get back inside, I will start driving back in the direction of the ranger station. Not sure we have a clear consensus on what we do.
Okay.
So, um, that I was hoping a little bit to have a little bit more of a smoking gun after that, but I didn't particularly get anything useful. You guys? I mean,
Well, other
other
than the
than
knowledge that he was actually in the land between the lakes, or yeah, he was actually there, which we had denied before, which had him disconnected. So we know that puts him alongside of our fairies, gremlins, and monsters, apparently.
Is this the first kid you guys have dug into? Like, is this the first full-ish kind of story you've gotten?
Yes. We haven't. It got too late yesterday for us to find the second kid. Um, Hopefully we can check them out soon.
I mean, do you think those things I saw last night are the ones snatching up kids? Like, and for what reason?
Look, Sean, can you pull up a picture of the missing kid?
uh, yeah, I'll get on my phone and pull up his Facebook profile. I mean, I should at least have his profile pic. So,
Does it look like any of the kids you saw?
No, it's probably close age. This is for Chad. Close age, but doesn't look like the young man you saw in the woods.
No, man. Like,
He's taller, a little more built, at least more defined muscle. He's got darker hair.
the kid in the woods or the kid that we're investigating?
The kid that's missing. The one in the woods had more sandy brown hair and was shorter and skinnier.
Nah, man, doesn't look anything like him. I mean, they're kind of close in age, but I don't know.
Now that I think of it, did either of them creatures you found in the woods match the two dead kids that we looked at?
Spirit?
Nope.
No, no, man.
A lot of missing children.
Uh, you don't think? I don't know. I'm new to this, but when things like this happen, how often do you guys actually recover the kids, like alive?
Our job here isn't to recover the kids, it's to get rid of the monsters.
That's
I've
not what I
not
was
had
asking.
much success.
Success is
Cool.
measured by not having more children die.
Um, Chad kind of just goes to staring out the window.
So, not to drag this out, but what is our next move? We need to get that footage from the ranger before, if there's anything too clear and visible to be alarmed about, we need to recover it, even if not for the sake of obfuscating it for the ranger, but maybe we'll learn something from these cameras.
If anything, just I don't know. I feel like if you guys were saying that you feel the mayor's daughter is tied into this, I just don't want this ranger getting photos and it getting to whoever is causing this in the city or is connected to it, and for them to link it all back to us.
I agree.
I've been spending some time at the ranger station with brothers, so I mean,
Well, weren't you the one who placed the cameras?
yeah. So they shouldn't have a problem with us going in there and looking at it. I'm just hoping they haven't yet.
Maybe take Sean here with you. He's quite handy with a computer. Maybe he can make sure they maybe never show up or
I mean,
go missing.
I've worked in IT. Bringing me along makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, and I can't drive there, so just in my mind, the sooner the better. So, but
Sure,
whatever.
we can head there now if you like.
Do I need to drop you off somewhere, Father, or
I can wait in the car.
I'll be sure to crack a window for you?
It's not a collar in that sense. And he'll like adjust his what's it called?
Collar.
Collar? I thought it's just called the collar.
No, there's a name for it. Anyway.
It's not Catholic.
Is Catholic, feels bad. I was Catholic.
All right, so you guys are all heading over to the ranger station. It was getting close to 4 o'clock when you left David's. Ranger station isn't very far, so another maybe half-hour drive at most. You can pull up into the parking lot. It looks like it's sort of closing up shop time. There's obviously still people there and lights on the inside, the people that stay later. But it looks like a few people are starting to pack up and leave, early morning workers.
Well, no time like the present.
Yep, let's go, man.
So I'll just let Chad lead me into the ranger station,
And I'll probably get out and walk around the. Is the station like near the woods, or is it like near the municipal building?
It's outside the woods proper, but not far.
It's by the woods, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a walk around, maybe meander through the woods a little bit.
Okay.
I can still see, so keeping an eye out for anything weird in the area, just for fun.
I'm assuming we know you are going for a walk. You're not like waiting for us to go outside, then just magically disappear on us.
Oh no, I would get out of the car when you guys get out of the car.
Okay. Yeah, I'll walk into the ranger station, see if any of the familiar faces that we have a semi-positive relationship with are there.
At the moment, you see just a young female ranger, one you had seen before but not spoken to directly. And if you look around a bit, you'll see more towards the back by like some filing cabinets. You'll see Ranger Malkinson, the one that is the one you've actually been speaking to.
Yep, I'll go talk to Mr. Malkinson.
All right, so you walk up to him. He's, seems already a little undone for the day. He's like, shirt buttons are like undone along his sleeve cuffs, and he isn't wearing his hat. But he looks up as he hears you come closer. Oh, you two again. What can I do for you?
Hey, yeah, I'm just here to check on those trail cam photos. Just, make sure they're working and everything.
Oh, of course. I didn't get a chance to look myself. I figured it'd be worth it just leave it for a day. And then check it later this evening. See, hopefully, if we did catch anything, anyone being miscreants probably going to come by at night, right?
Right. Well, I mean, we're in the area, so you cool if me and him just go check it out?
Yeah, sure. But, and he's going to turn around. Bobby, go in the back with them. And a young ranger you hadn't seen yet comes walking up and nods at Chad and Sean. Where are we going? And Malkinson will tell him to take you back to where you can check the cameras for, or the connection for the cameras. So the young ranger leads you out towards the back, and like you saw before, it was a small room with a few computer stations, a mix of tubs and containers with miscellaneous electronics and other gear, and you can see some of the monitors are already like on some trail cameras. There's even some larger screens with ones that look like they're closer to camping grounds. And Bobby will just hold his hand up for you. Guess you know what you're doing?
Yeah. I'm familiar with trail cameras. I'm assuming I could get onto them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we got this. I mean, to be honest, we're just Just checking to make sure they're all up and running. I don't think we need supervision, and I'll give a look towards Modi. Sean.
I should probably stay with you, just make sure nothing gets don't mess up any of our order here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about your system. I mean, I've handled these models before. I'm a security network professional. It's just, trust me, this is it's like driving to work for me. This is not a problem.
Chad will keep coughing in more and more aggressive.
Man, you all right? You need some water?
Oh my god, yes, please.
Yeah, all right. Come with me. We got some right out here.
Thank you. And Chad will get up and just start coughing and just walking with him.
And the moment he gets out of sight, he's going to quickly jump on the console and try to locate the files.
Right, so you would know around about what time and you know the location, so it doesn't actually take you very long to locate it. For the sake of it, though, give me an intelligence computer roll.
Oh, don't you botch it.
Music.
Rev, don't spread your filth.
Spira, do you have music on?
I do. It's probably quiet for you guys, but it's about. Actually, this one might be a little quieter. I try to keep it at like 50% for where we're talking, so it doesn't drown anyone out. All right, 2 successes. Yeah, you're good. Okay, so you are able to locate time, location, based off where they were, and when Brother and Chad had gone out in the woods. You find like the start and last log file of movement. If you see like some small thumbnails, or see some recent like squirrels in the pictures, but you'll see a very obvious large chunk where you can spot Brother, Chad, the 2 young people that Chad had described, one with like short brownish blonde hair and another one with also sort of like mousy brown hair. And in at least a small segment of the thumbnails, you'll see a large, hulking, dark gray skinned creature. Looks humanoid in shape, but it's got like just oversized muscular chest and shoulders. It's slightly hunched over. The limbs are a little longer. There's obviously some like sort of dark talons coming out of its fingers. There's a mane of dark hair coming out of its head and like just brushing down its shoulders, some of it even a little bit down its back. Looks thick like horse mane hair, and 2 small horns coming out from the hair. Not a lot of other detail than that, but from the back you definitely pick up all those details.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is, again, plug in my thumb drive and start pulling down these videos. And while that's going on, I'm going to go in and set up a remote access backdoor into this terminal so that I can access it via the internet from my laptop. So if I ever need to get back onto this PC, I'm fine.
Okay.
And am I done downloading the videos before they come back?
Yes.
They should just be photos, so I'd imagine it'd be pretty quick.
Oh, it's photos, not video.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
And before they get back, I'm going to go into an editor and just completely scramble these images, just in the actual file formats to corrupt them so that they can't be recovered. Just the one specifically starting where Brother and Chad are visible to the end.
Okay, and give me a wits intuition roll.
If he was to botch this, would he make them like crystal clear? Would he make them better and send it out to every ranger?
Not exactly.
Close.
Okay. That's good then.
What? That's a fail, isn't it?
Yeah, he's good. So, so Sean is able to actually do all of that. He scrambles up the images, and Bobby will lead Chad back after getting him some water, and after he sees Sean at the computer. Everything going all right?
No. Who does your IT work around here? Are there backups of these? Are there backup files of this? Like, do you guys take nightly images or anything like that? A lot of these files are completely corrupt. They just can't be read. Like, I'll click on a random one and have it pop up with the error message, file can't be read. And just, do you guys have a backup somewhere of this stuff?
And Bobby's gonna look like he's about to go up to the computer, but then you see him step back a bit. I'm not too good with this stuff. Let me go get Malkinson, and he'll step back out of the room, and you'll hear him yelling for the ranger.
I'll make sure that the USB is pulled out, firmly hidden on my person, and just waiting for Malkinson to get back.
So Malkinson comes walking into the room with Bobby and heads up towards the computer that you were in front of. And what were you saying about some corrupted files?
So I was reviewing the footage from, the photos taken last night, and it seems around, I don't know what time, midnight, 1 a.m., whatever time it was. I'll open up a file and just be like, the files went dead. I don't know if the file transfers were botching or something, but it just, they're incomplete files. They're not valid.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know what could have gone wrong. We had them set up as usual.
Do you guys have backups or anything that you guys would have taken that we might be able to access?
No, we were just getting the feed right from the cameras. We would have backed them up probably later tonight from these files.
You guys, I'm sure remember, brother. He's not exactly the jolly giant that
I remember him.
Yeah. How about we keep this between us? He doesn't have to know that the pictures were, messed up. How about we just send the photos to Sean's personal computer, and that way, if anything wrong happens, he doesn't come down here and start barking like he did yesterday.
Look, file recovery is one of my specialties, and if I have a better feed directly into these photos, I can make sure that something doesn't get botched up around the way. Like, it's just, this isn't my system. This isn't my network. There's a million variables of what could be going wrong at the moment. And just, I would be better in control of the environment if these photos were being sent directly to me.
Yeah, of course. If you know how to connect those cameras to your system, that sounds fine. Just, I'd like to get copies of anything that does stand out.
Absolutely. At the moment that I have anything of note, I'll email it directly to you.
All right, I appreciate it.
Speaking of which, can I get your email address? I'll hand him out the pad of paper that I have and just get it from him.
Yeah, sure, and he'll write it down for you.
All right. So I'm assuming that we're going to have to, would the information for where the cameras are sending the photos be something controlled from this computer, or do we have to go back to the actual cameras to redirect them?
I'm pretty sure that you would go into the computer to find their link. They're small little cameras, so they don't have codes on them.
All right. And then I guess I'll quickly take care of that and redirect them to my personal laptop, my personal whatever account. And other than that, that's all I have.
All right, Malkinson will show you out of the office and give you kind of a pat on the back. Maybe like I said, you see anything, any kids running around, anything like that, send them over to me so I can try and tie them up with someone in the town.
Absolutely. The kids come first.
Yep. And I'll see you later.
And with that, I'll get back into the car and start driving off a little ways. Get, a little ways down the road and take a turn or two before pulling over and pulling my laptop out so I can upload the images and show it to the other two.
What am I, your baby? You're just gonna leave me behind?
I said that you were waiting in the car.
No, man, he's out in the woods taking a walk. You just drove off without him.
You're gonna ditch a blind priest on the side of the road. What is
Obviously,
wrong with you?
when you're not in the car, I'm going to stop and look around and be like, where the fuck did the blind man wander off to?
Well, real quick, so in the meantime, Father, what are you doing while they were getting the photos?
Walking through the woods, since I have the second sight up, or whatever it's called. It's better than second sight. Forgot the name. Whatever it is.
Discern.
Discern, thank you. While I have discern, I'm gonna actually be like walking through the woods, whistling to myself, like looking around, and just overall being supernaturally friendly. Literally looking around in the trees for fairies and ghosts and things like that. Children kind of not belonging.
You don't see anything.
Then back to the car when I hear them come out.
Don't mean to be anticlimactic, but
No, it's fine. I wasn't expecting anything. He was literally taking a stroll. He doesn't have vision a lot, so when he gets 40 straight minutes, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Alright, so you head back to the car, and after the time you spent, you'll see shortly after that Sean and Chad coming out of the ranger's office.
Father, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Are you guys ready?
Yep. Let's get in the car. So I make sure Father is in the car this time.
Did you buckle my seatbelt?
I buckle your seatbelt and give you a kiss on the forehead.
Lovely. Alright, now it's about more to 5 o'clock. What is your next step?
Just getting a few minutes down the road, a couple of turns off of the main road, off of the ranger station, and just pulling over, uploading the images on my laptop, and taking a look at them with Chad.
Did you say was that in character when you said my name?
No. Just saying we're looking at the pictures. Looking through them.
Yeah. So how clear are the pictures, Spira?
I'm gonna lean forward in between the chairs and look too.
They're pretty clear, but not like a lot of detail. So kind of grainy. You can see the trees, you can see the children, you could make out like the general size, shape, the make of their hair, things like that. Same thing with the monster. As much detail as I said earlier that Sean would have seen on that, that's about as much as you can get from it.
So, other than the physical description of all of them, is there anything that doesn't match up with Chad's story?
No, he did a good job filling you guys in.
Do I recognize any of these creatures?
No.
I do have a cold 3.
Okay, from your occult studies, things you would have seen in books, they lead you you're gonna be thinking somewhere along the lines between some kind of fey creature, possibly demons, and the big one, you don't necessarily think werewolf, but just the size and bulk of it, brings it to mind for a moment.
as Chad looks at the big, like the photo of the big monster thing, can, can guns take this out? Like, do we need something special? Is it really just bullets that could take this out, or what? What do we need here?
I believe, if I'm correct, and I'm not a hunter, but I believe it's probably going to be the same idea as bear hunting. If you're going to shoot a bear, you want to make sure you kill it, or else you've just pissed it off a lot. So usually it's best to find out what it is and how to kill it before firing anything at it.
Well, does anyone have any ideas about what this thing is?
I was really hoping you guys could tell me.
I brought a couple books from the Vatican, but it does not seem familiar. I'll probably do some research later. But for now, the kids definitely seem like fairies or some sort of fae thing. Or maybe demons. We do have at least one confirmed demon in town.
Would so fae, fairies, whatever you want to call them, they would be working in with the mayor's daughter, who you said is possessed by a demon or something like that.
Possessed, reanimated, who knows, but there's a demon in her.
Okay, so demons work with fairies also?
That I don't know. But it looks, they could be fairies and the demon is separate. They could be related.
So the mayor's daughter could have nothing to do with our missing kids. Or the fairies could have nothing to do with these missing kids.
We haven't found a link yet.
All right. What do we do next? Are we gonna go talk to this Derek kid? Are we gonna go talk to the parents of the other missing kids? What are we doing?
I don't fancy interrogating children.
Who said anything about interrogating them? There's nothing wrong with having a polite conversation. Maybe.
Sure. And how does that look? Oh, do you know the blind priest? That conversation after school? Oh, they asked me questions too. How long before that makes its way back?
So we look at the other dead kids' parents. Is that your suggestion?
It's certainly worth checking out, but you know my suggestion. We bona fide know of one creature, where it is, and what it is.
And what do we do, Father? Just waltz into her house and abduct her? Stake her down with holy water and crosses and demand that she reveal to us her secrets? What do we do?
We have a plan. We come up with a plan and execute that plan. What do you want to do otherwise? What are you waiting for? What is your sign that it's time to stop the demon? How long are you willing to live in the midst of a demon? Months, years? You want her to confess? What do you want? I'm perfectly open to suggestions. We know what demons are. We know how to deal with demons.
I guess my biggest hesitation here is we don't have a plan that makes sense to me. I don't see an angle to attack this from that makes sense. Where do we start with this? Abducting the mayor's daughter. One way or another, that's a world of complicated.
Okay. So we just wait and let her continue to corrupt this town until it looks good to kill a child?
How old is she?
She looks like she's kind of in early high school, but from what I'm not sure if Sean has necessarily shared this information with you, but she is older. So, like late high school age by now. She should be closer to like 18, but looks kind of more like 14.
Okay. It's like she's not aging, but yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I picked up on that. I think I told you and brother and Sean.
So, all right. Just so I get it right, Father, you want to go after the mayor's daughter in a forceful way?
Demons aren't known for playing nice
I
or
just
leaving this plane quickly or easily.
Okay. And Sean, you would like to avoid going after a little girl, I'm assuming.
I think it's a little awkward for three grown-ass men to go abduct a nubile little girl, and this doesn't look terrible any way that you split it. So if anything goes sideways in this entire thing, we're fucked. That's what I don't like, Father. What damage has been done, and it doesn't look like she's actively out proselytizing for Lucifer, whatever it is demons do.
I assure you, she is not here idly. There's never been a demon who shows up, takes over a child's life, and says, "That's enough. I'm satiated now." They're demons. They don't stop.
They're demons. Their time is measured against the if they are demons, their time is measured against infinite. Like, what is 100 years? What is 10 years? What is a decade to them? What makes
What
you
is
think
100 human lives? 1,000 human lives? A whole generation of humans? Have you ever faced a demon? Have you had to kill a monster yet? This is what we do. We dispose of these creatures. This is the job title. That's what we were brought here to do.
I'm not opposed to disposing of the demon.
We must. No, there's not an opposition. It must happen. How is what I'm asking you. How do you want to do it then?
That's what I'm asking you. I want a plan that makes sense. I don't know. You're the expert. How do we do this in something that doesn't end up going sideways? It's just...
We're all in this together. We have to come up with a plan, but if it goes sideways, you're assuming you'll even live. If it goes sideways, the most likely way is that demon will kill us all, quickly and without much pain. For it. Probably a lot of pain for us. And any way you go, either we save the girl's soul, which is obviously what I want, and if that is not possible, yes, we kill a little girl, who actually isn't a little girl at all. It is in fact a semi-immortal hell spawn.
I don't want to get in the middle of this, but as far as we know, the kids are disappearing near the woods, and we saw the fairy creatures in the woods maybe taking care of them first. That's just my thought.
So instead of killing the little girl, we kill the other little girl and little boy.
I'm just saying, I don't think we've seen the mayor's daughter do anything wrong, but we have seen these two hang out with a giant beast that has marks of the talent that's been destroying things. Just maybe them first.
Either way, we need to start getting answers. And you already said you met with them and they gave you no answers. And if you're looking for justification of wrongdoing, their existence is wrongdoing. By definition, that is what we do.
So, okay, all right. This seems to be pretty important to you, so if you want, I can try and trail the mayor's daughter and see if anything, like she's even doing anything wrong. I don't know where you want to go with this, man. I really don't.
He wants to grab her and put a bullet in her head.
No, I want to grab her and try to excise the demon and save her soul, and then put a bullet in her head if that doesn't work. Are you advocating for saving her? Would you like to make a deal with the demon? Because those are your options. Make a deal with it, or let its corruption spread. This is not a complicated scenario. You don't have to wait for it to murder anybody. It is by virtue needs to be killed. You don't just leave them here.
Another dumb question. The fairies, they're the demons in the little girl. So we don't. I understand Sean's hesitation and obviously my hesitation to kill her, but the fairies, they are not using the bodies of actual humans, right?
They may be, absolutely.
Is that it was more of a question of, is that what they do, or do they come with their own bodies?
They can do either. They can twist humans. I'm not ultimately read up on them, but they looked human enough. Or twisted human.
Because if we go after the mayor's daughter, and I mean, even if she doesn't kill us, I could see the town being pretty upset, man, about us going after her. But killing two fairies and monsters no one knows about in the woods might help some of the problems and not piss off an entire city that we're trying to to get information from and help.
So we are going after the fairies for info. And until then, what do we do about the demon daughter who has at least touched the souls of the sheriff, the mayor, and her influence is spreading around this city?
What can we do outside of straight up exorcism?
I have given my options. I am open to others. It's not important to me how we do it, just that we do something and don't sit idly by as it corrupts everyone else and spreads.
Is there any... I guess there's no way for us to just prove that she's possessed. I just don't... I don't understand how we get close to her and get her... I mean, unless one of us is specialized in getting in and kidnapping little girls and getting them out, I fucking don't know how we do this without raising a ton of alarms.
She's not hard to track. You don't need to see her. I can feel her from quite a few yards away with no problem.
I don't know, man. I've never kidnapped someone before. I don't know if this is going to be something easy or what, how to even do this. Let alone a demon, that's something completely different.
We solve the problems. That's what our job is while we're here. That is why I believe we have these powers, and that's why the messengers brought us here and talked to us. We see things. We can wait for another vision or sign and just sit on our hands until then and just talk to the kids' parents, I guess.
I'm more asking you, Father, do we just straight up kidnap this little girl?
No, that's not preferable.
Okay. Because...
So do we sneak into her house and exorcise her in our own room? We either kidnapped her and drag her somewhere, lure her somewhere, and exorcise her there, or break into her house and exorcise her in her bedroom. I mean, I guess luring her somewhere would be preferable, but
out of above table, Sean does use the hunter net, right?
Yes.
Is connected with the messengers too? Or have the messengers said anything to any of us? We haven't seen anything since the book?
No, but that was only like a day or two ago.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, we haven't seen anything since then.
Not yet.
Have I killed demons before? I've been doing this for a little bit, but not forever.
I don't think you've faced, like... You've probably come across exorcisms, but you know that they can sometimes be a mix of different influences. You haven't exactly walked up to a young person and seen them with horns before.
Um, Father is just gonna shrug and say, "I'll leave it to you, Tim."
What? No, this is your thing. This is like this is
all
your
of our thing.
baby, man. You can't just put this on us. No, I
This
mean
is
like
all of our thing. Why are you
I,
here? Why did
I
you come here?
no, I'm saying like you wanting to go after the demon. That's like me and Sean feel. Sean, I
Then
don't
we
need to
go
speak for you.
after. Then we go after the children in the woods. That's fine.
Okay, as long as you're okay with it. That you just seem to really
Yes.
push for the demon thing. So yes.
Because I know what the demon is. I don't know what these maybe kids, maybe Fae are or how to kill them. So going after them seems a little weird.
I mean,
How?
worst comes to worst, I guess I could reach out to her on Facebook and try to get her to come out to some event. Maybe talk about the kids getting together at a park in the woods for a rager, whatever kids do these days.
I definitely do not want to lure a demon closer to the Fae in the woods. That does sound dangerous.
Okay,
But
so
no, I agree.
the city's surrounded by woods. We don't have to choose the land between.
That's true.
Just somewhere that's off the beaten path.
With what Sean's saying, I could do a lot more in the woods than I can in the city.
Well, for now, I thought we agreed we'll try to follow the Fae and leave her alone. At least she can escape easily. So that's the one upside of leaving her on the side, is we know where she is, where she lives, and how to find her whenever we need to. We even have Sean's Facebook account, or the one he made. So contact with her is simple. Do you want to try to contact these Fae again?
I mean, I know where their teleporter is, but I, I think I might. How often do these kids go missing?
What was it? Like, has it been like two within the span of like 4 months or something?
It was the two that passed away was about 3 months ago. Then one disappeared 2 months ago. That would be Timothy. And then one disappeared a month ago. That was Ian, which you guys haven't spoken to his family yet.
So just so I get it right, 4 months ago, 2 months ago, 1 month ago,
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
So about every month.
So if we are in line with a predator's eating cycle, we're about due for dinner time. And as far as hunting goes, it's illegal in most practices, but if you can do it, leaving out some bait is a pretty good way of getting something to come out.
Do we have any idea what these things take as bait?
I'm saying kids, man.
Do you have some kids lying around that would make good bait?
Sure. Why did you have to make this children themed?
Because it's World of Darkness.
Why are you forcing us to talk about kidnapping children? Like,
Chad kind of looks at himself. I mean, I'm not high school, but I'm not so much older than that. I mean, to be honest with you guys.
So are you saying we doll you up a little and make you look a little innocent?
I'm saying slap a backpack and a little hat on me, man, and I'll go walk out there.
Should we put a Capri Sun in your hand too?
Only if it comes in a pouch, because those new bottles are bullshit, man. Like,
wait,
I don't get
what?
How they did that. Yeah, they started putting them in. Anyways, we were trying to hunt monsters. But yeah, the real tragedy here is that they put Capri Sun in the bottles and it doesn't taste as good.
I say, I don't know, brother isn't here, before we start guns blazing, maybe we should wait for him.
Okay. So,
We
yeah, I'm
should
not
make
saying
a plan, though.
Yes, we don't do it tonight. You said you had some books. Why don't you do some research? I'll try and if someone has some money, I could try and get some clothes and figure out what kids, wear these days, and we can try and we could. I'll be our bait. I've done it before. I could stand out in the middle of woods and be appetizing, I guess.
How about we all head to the other kid's house about now before it gets too late? And at least ask his parents if he went missing there. Maybe their kid was a little less good and left some trail, or was known for breaking out or leaving late at night or something and going to some hangout spot.
Yeah,
We're grasping at straws anyway. It doesn't hurt to be thorough.
Well, let's go while we still got sunlight.
And Sean, I'll say while we're driving, just chatting while we're driving. If you could look on the Hunter Net of any info of how to deal with fae and fairies and whatever those things were. Maybe find a description how to kill them if they're kids. Maybe that's important too, or if they're just supernatural creatures in and of themselves.
So once we get to the house we're going to, he'll pull out the laptop and connect to the HunterNet really quickly and just make a posting. Potentially identify two fae, give vague descriptions, looking for assistance. Thoughts?
Okay. And round the hour, so let's take another little break because I could use it anyway just to get a couple things sorted for Sean. So last little bit of AMA time. Go ahead and ask Koznark any questions or questions for Father Peter Lilly.
Loving this children-centric theme here.
Yeah.
It's like the opposite of the Innocence game. Like there was an Innocence game that happened, and we're cleaning up.
Yeah, pretty much. It feels like there was an Innocence game where everyone botched and we're trying to fix it.
That'd be a pretty good idea.
Too many ones being rolled over there.
Is it Cosnar question time?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
my time.
Okay. How, obviously I'd feel like demons are Father Lily's, number one, enemy, right?
He's more concerned, but as far as he cares, if it's not human, get rid of it.
Okay, so he has no bias against demons more so than something non-religious?
He's just familiar with demons. And to him, demons equal a chance of savior. So, vampires and werewolves, he's like, they're done. There's nothing you can do. You can't pull them back. They've got to be eliminated. Whereas demons, he feels like the soul is still savable in some way if you can excise them and get them out of the person before it's too late. So that's why he does kind of stick on them.
Okay, yeah, because during that I wasn't sure if it was just you're a priest, it's a demon, they're your natural, kind of target.
Just because he knew what it was.
Right.
That was kind of his thing, is he's gotten solid evidence of exactly what it is and the damage it can do. So he thinks, at least. Once he saw her up close with full-on demon horns and a demon aura, he was like, yep, there's no ambiguity here. He understands the frustration, I guess, but he's not he's not on the same wavelength as Sean, I guess, in this manner, where Sean's like, we can't just take a little girl and take her into the woods. And I'm like, you're not. You're taking a demon, taking it into the woods and getting rid of it. he doesn't see it as stealing a little girl or messing with any little. He's like, no, there's a full fucking demon in there. Like, the Beelzebub will wear tempting clothes. Like, it doesn't matter what it looks like. He feels like he knows what it is.
I think the main difference is you have to remember, Sean hasn't seen any of this. So he's all taking your word from it and doesn't have the visceral graphics of, this demon in his face burning that is lighting a fire for Peter or Falk.
What's going on there, buddy?
There's a ladybug that Genos is intent on murdering.
Is he just chasing it about the room?
Yes.
I like it.
Ours doesn't do that. She just lays on her bed. She won't kill anything.
Alright, we can get back to the game now. Alright, so Sean, as Morpheus on the HunterNet, reached out saying that he found 2 potential Fae and gave descriptions. So you said 2, so that would be the 2 young children?
Correct.
Okay.
And actually upload one of the pictures of them.
Okay. Are you going to mention the other one or no?
Sure, I'll mention the other one, the man-beast thing.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so after a little while, you do get a message back from Coxcrow, and he starts typing out to you saying, do you have any more information than that? These things range quite a bit on what to do with them.
I talk about how they seemingly seem absent-minded or able to teleport through weird, I guess, natural fetishes. Trees and stuff bound together seem to be gateways for them, and just go more into their physical descriptions. The guy who was glowing and the willow tree-esque female.
Okay, after a little bit longer, you get a nice long message from Coxcrow saying, roundabout, since I don't have it written down, but he explains that if the 2 younger looking ones seem to be elemental based, one seems like maybe it's like you said, it was charcoal. There's a potential that water might work on it. With the one that seems akin to a tree, he said the trouble there is it could be one of many different things that affects it, but often it's another type of tree or plant that can at least ward it off. He's going to continue explaining, it's almost going to sound a bit repetitive. It's there's so much that could work for one and not for another that you can be dangerous attempting to head at them with one thing confidently and then find out that it does nothing. But then it'll give you a short list of some very common things that affect a lot of them. And that'll include certain kinds of more interactions. So trying to make deals, trying to give them riddles to solve or offer to solve riddles, playing certain kinds of jokes, and even creating certain kinds of personal wards can tend to make them give up information, offer you something, or keep them at bay.
Personal wards, question mark?
So when he types back about that, he puts a little shrugging emoji, and it's just honestly, I've heard some crazy stories about people just, writing their name on them in paint, maybe, making a cross out of holly and wearing it around your neck. There's so many different things, but sometimes it's more the meaning than the thing itself.
Thanks. Let me know if you come across anything else, and I'll keep you updated.
If you get me any more information, I might be able to whittle down what might work best against them. But I can at least say for that young boy, water is a good choice.
And what was the student's handle again?
Coxcrow.
Oh! Okay, Cox Crow.
Yeah. Like a coxcrow in the morning.
Yes.
Alright, and Father Peter Lilly and Chad Water Lily, we're actually heading up to the home of Mark Jackson, father of Ian Jackson. He's one of the boys he's the boy who most recently disappeared. As you approach, it's much more of a rundown hovel than the Evans home. It's similarly one floor kind of rancher, but it looks like it's barely bigger than a trailer. There's a lot of just old detriment out in the front yard, you know, a couple car parts. There's a tree that looks like it should have been tended but hasn't been. It's just sort of slowly dying even though it's near end of spring. The shutters on the windows are, you know, kind of caked in dirt. Definitely haven't been cleaned in a while. Even the steps leading up to the front door are, you know, these stone steps, but they're kind of cracked. Inside you can hear a TV being played quite loudly.
So, yeah, just approach and knock at the door.
Yeah, ask one of these two what they think of the place.
Very different than the previous house, the Evans household.
What a great description. Thank you, Sean.
It's a little bit more rundown, man.
Ah, okay.
Sorry, okay, I see what you're asking. Yeah, I'll repeat what basically Spira said. We're talking about how it's run down, the dirt and everything on the windows, loud. Well, you would have heard the loud TV, but just kind of fill you in on what you're missing.
Yeah. I'll like nod and be like, I don't know if I will help get us in this door, Sean.
Do you have a scarf or something you could wrap around your eyes, help us get into character? That's a joke.
Yeah, just let's get it over with. Knock on the door, man.
So, knock on the door. Or hit the doorbell if they have one. Whichever.
You hit the doorbell and it doesn't work. So if you knock afterwards instead, you won't hear any response right away. The TV is quite loud.
I will bang louder and kind of speak it loudly, comparable to what I assume the noise of the TV is. Just, excuse me, is anyone home?
You're gonna hear a loud, deep man's voice just yell, "Pam, you deaf, get the door!" And after a little while, you'll hear the door creak open, like, the actual, screen door open before the front door opens. And you, see a woman there in kind of a ratty old, nightgown, big, cloth, or big cotton ones, just, old pink, so it's, almost gray. And she just looks, the three of you up and down. Who the fuck are you?
Hi, my name is Sean Malcolm, and I'm with the Nashville Tribune. I was wondering if you had a...
Yeah, we don't want any. And she starts closing the door.
Excuse me, man. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm looking for answers.
She opens the door a bit more. You with the police?
I'm not actively working on their investigation. This is something privately funded that we're looking into the disappearance of a few kids in the area. There's been a couple of disappearances in the immediate area, and it's part of a larger thing in this area of Tennessee that we're taking a look into to hopefully find any sort of correlation to, and any sort of information you could give us could be immensely helpful in tracking down your missing kid, someone else's.
All right. And she's gonna like close up her gown a bit more and step outside the door, closing it slightly behind her. What about Ian?
Ian is why.
Yeah, you got any information?
Maybe we've been collecting information from the other cases. Maybe if you went first and could fill us in on what exactly happened, we could see if it connects any dots with anything else that we have.
You hear
Sorry,
from inside. You hear from inside the same male voice, just Pam, who is it? And she yells back inside, "It's no one. They're trying to sell something. Tell them to fuck off."
So, even if you can make it quick, just if you can give us some information about Ian, I can hopefully let you know if it fits into any greater picture.
She starts like fussing with her hair. It looks like, it's not entirely clean. It probably needs a shower soon, but she just like keeps messing with it. He's a good boy. He's just, he'll go out with his friends, disappear for a few days. So we figured we'd see him back, and it was a week. So we actually started calling around, asking, his friends if they'd seen him. They hadn't, at least not in a couple days. I don't know, but yeah, no, it's been too long now. Unless he actually finally ran away after all those times he's promised.
Did he give you any sort of indication? You said that he's promised to run away before. Did he give you any indication on where he would run to, who he would run to, anything?
No, it's just empty threats. Piss off his dad.
Something spoken out of frustration or pain that he was saying, "I'm going to run away simply."
Yeah, we figured if he ever did, it'd just be to one of his friends' houses.
Do you have the names of his friends? Maybe it ties into something we've seen previously.
I don't know. He has so many of them. They come by, grab food, and leave. I don't usually keep track of them.
I kind of like pipe in. Does he spend any time at the Land Between the Lakes?
Yeah, most of the kids do. And at that point, the door opens, and you see the tall, sort of beer-bellied gentleman that was speaking earlier, kind of overhang from behind his wife, a good, foot taller than her. Pam, who are these people? They're asking about some stuff in the city. It's a census thing. And the man's gonna kind of bark at all of you. Do you know what time it is? Can't you do this in the morning?
I'm so sorry, sir. I apologize. We'll only take but another couple minutes of your time. This is our last stop on our route, and our boss is down our throat. We've got to get this done. I really do apologize for bothering you. I am trying to be persuasive. Should I roll?
Yes.
Aren't you in full get up and
Yeah.
go? That you just said our boss is down our throat.
Do you think this guy knows much about the census office? It could be a preacher thing. He doesn't know.
All
Alright.
Besides, maybe I volunteer at the local municipal building to help out the town.
Alright, I will need charisma, empathy, but it's going to be at difficulty 8. Alright, try to convince this gentleman that he just need a few more minutes of his wife's time.
I really just need to ask a couple more questions, then we'll be on our way and leave you guys to your supper. It's really just important that we get it done tonight so we can put all the paperwork in together.
The large gentleman just shakes his head. Yeah, whatever, just keep it down. And he'll head back to the TV and kind of let the door close a bit hard at the back of his wife. She just rolls her eyes. Look, I don't really... I'm try. And she looks like she's trying to think of the names of the kids. I mean, there's Andrew. A couple of them go by stupid fucking nicknames.
Do you know any specific places they go in the park, maybe? Like buildings they hang out at, abandoned stuff, landmarks, anywhere we could check?
Pam keeps just shaking her head. I don't know. It's probably not too far into the park. Probably trail around the campgrounds. Probably, get some 40s and go find a park bench to sit on.
Do you know who they get those from?
No, I don't know who they get. I don't want to know.
And would any of their names happen to be? And he'll take out the piece of paper. John Dragger, Derek Singleton, or Matthew Benson? Do any of those names sound familiar?
Yeah, I think Derek's been around before, but I don't know the other ones.
He'll fold up the piece of paper and put it in his pocket. Man, that's good enough. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Anything else?
And just wondering if you had any information on his specific hangouts that he particularly had, areas that he would, or specifically what he was doing at the night that he disappeared. Do you have any information on who he was with or where he went?
Like I said, I don't know exactly what night he disappeared. I know about what week, because could have been at any of his friends' house before whatever happened to him. And at that, she will start looking a little more upset. Before, she'd seemed a little blasé and just annoyed but talking about it, but, it's starting to affect her. You can see it on her face.
One last question, and then we'll let you go. It's I'm gonna give the mayor's daughter's name. Be like, has he ever hung out with her?
Suzanne? No, they're not even, they're a few years apart. She's a, grade A student at the school, class president, all that kind of bullshit. Definitely not Ian's crowd.
And just while we're on our way out, do you mind if we take a look? Maybe just around. Does he usually run out the front door? Maybe his bedroom window? How does he usually run out?
No, I'll go out the front door, but look, if you keep it quiet and Mark don't hear you, yeah, you can look around. I don't give a shit.
Thank you.
Your cooperation has been incredibly helpful.
Of course. And she'll, again, kind of hold her, her robe and just, if you do hear anything or find out anything, let me know.
Absolutely. The moment that I hear anything about Ian, I'll be sure to let you know.
Right. And she's just gonna turn to head back inside.
I'm gonna walk around the house. Oh, I did.
Yep, I see.
And I'm gonna walk around the house, duck under wherever I see the living room, hear the TV coming from, but just check the outside of the kid's bedroom, specifically the windowsill, and if there's any trees nearby that lead up to the second. Oh, it was a one story you said, right?
Yep.
Yeah, specifically the windowsill, and maybe look. I can see perfectly at dark, so even if it's dark in there, look in the room and see if anything looks interesting.
So, kind of sneaking around, you'll see two bedrooms. One has the lights out, but if you try to, get a quick little, look inside, you'll see, all the shutters are open with, box fans going. So you can, see a little bit in there. It looks like it's probably maybe the wife and husband's room, because there's a bit of a larger bed and, some nice little knickknacks on the dressers. If you go around more, you'll find another bedroom that does have the light on. There is noise. It sounds like there's two kids inside, probably playing video games, and they're hassling each other.
They're the only two bedrooms I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna stay low, not go towards the kids, but check out that windowsill.
All right. Yeah, so when you get a little closer with your discern up, you don't see anything around the ground or really near the windowsill like you did at the other one, but there's actually a faint sort of trickle of a glow on the ceiling that's above that window. Not ceiling, roof.
Ah. Can I like back up and like, kind of try to get a better angle and looking above the roof?
Mm-hmm. You see sort of a imprint that's like bit of a Y shape, not very clear, looks a little faded, and similarly, there's not much trailed from one way or the other.
Any fingers, like fingers laying down? Like, does it look like someone was laying on the roof looking down?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I will probably go back to the car. I am not liking this, Sean, or this is not good.
What exactly is not good?
Let's go before the husband decides to make more trouble.
Of course, we've overstayed our welcome.
Yeah, last I need to see him to see me running around the house. Probably think I'm from the tax office or something.
Alright, where are you guys going to go to have a chat?
Again, maybe just start driving.
I mean, we can always go to my hotel. Like it's not exactly the best, but it's somewhere to sit. Plus, I'm gonna need to be dropped off there anyways. So
Yeah, it's up to you, Sean. We can head to the church. I'm sure we can find a quiet place to sit and talk, or we can go to Chad's. Either way, I'm fine.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Which one's closer?
Chad's.
Right. Said that. Is it far?
I don't believe so.
No, like not even an hour, like 35 minutes.
Okay, good. Enough time for a car conversation. Well, once we start, get a little further away from the building. You know of the boogeyman, right?
Yes.
Creepy thing children are scared of. Watch out for. Kind of stuff looking through the window, shadows at night, maybe coming under the bed, that stuff. Something was peeking in both of those children's windows before they went missing. It's faint, and I don't know how long ago, but there were finger imprints on the windowsill of the first kid. And on that house, it looks like something was laying on the roof, looking over down into the window.
Chad will look physically uncomfortable as he looks out the window.
So you think these kids were being stalked?
I don't know. Bored out with candy? Who knows what sort of evil? But it definitely looks really creepy.
Since you said that there was handprints and other stuff, could you get a general size of it? Like,
Yeah,
was it
they look
about
like kids'
human
hands.
size? Was it about human size? Was it smaller, larger?
Yeah, no, they were closer to human size than anything oversized.
Did they look like the fingers specifically, did they look like grown people fingers or kid hands?
They looked a little skinnier.
Skinnier at least. The fingerprints were at least skinnier. I don't know if they were adult or child, but it was only like the tip curled, and he'll like put his hand on the back of the seat like this, and he'd be like curled up onto the side of the windowsill.
Have you noticed they're anywhere else around town, or just specifically these two locations?
I can't always observe it every time during the day, so I haven't seen this anywhere else. I just thought it odd that both of their windows were clear marks of someone looking, but the trail doesn't go anywhere, and it doesn't go in the room. It's just specifically on the windows, or near the windows. Maybe it has to be invited in?
What?
I don't know.
So maybe these kids aren't disappearing in the woods, but are being led out of their houses? Is that what you're saying?
It's an option. I mean, why would something show up at their house, either lured out or tempted away, or someone they knew or a friend was already in some way changed and then got them to go out with them?
So a skinny adult leaning over children's windows, luring them out. Are we sure? Perhaps they were whisked off to Neverland. Or the boogeyman, one of the two. But really, what's the line and the difference between the boogeyman and the boogeyman?
If there is a supernatural creature whisking children off to another dimension, I want to stop it.
The only reason I bring this up is you talked about the Fae, if that's what we're calling them, teleporting. They had a portal of some sort that maybe they weren't traveling a great distance, but traveling outside of our perception.
Chad will give you a look. What do you mean?
I don't know, you hear those crackpots all the time talking about aliens from other dimensions or parallel universes, or I don't know what the people who have way too much time on their hands come up with these days, but it's just, you said there was a flash of light and it disappeared. It just, I'm just saying that it begs to reason that it might not just be that it was a means of, it's obviously a means of transportation, but whether to a place we can't comprehend, or like Neverland. Maybe it's literally a portal to Neverland, or maybe it did just take them a great distance.
Either way, they both disappeared. And lack of trail doesn't necessarily mean they teleported. It's been a long time. I'm surprised I sensed anything. Much like I don't know, dog tracking someone. You know, if you wait a month, it's probably not going to work very well.
Did either you or brother try to use the gateway for yourself?
I mean, I stood in the center of it, but where would you even start? You know, it's not like there's a magical word I know that whisked me off in it, you know?
Not even a abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
Screw Harry Potter for ruining that for me. Abracadabra. I literally about said abracadabra.
I didn't even try please, the real magic word. So I mean, no, we didn't try, brother. I want to say he didn't even know what it was either.
Well, we have a couple of leads. Do we want to try to come across these Fae again? And if so, I was reading a little bit on the HunterNet, talking to a few people, and it seems we might be able to, through wordplay or other things like that, get information out of them. I mean, worst come to worst, there's a strong theory that Ember, the charred individual, might be susceptible to water, but that would still just leave Willow.
Oh, I don't fancy attacking one without having an answer for the other.
We also have this Derek fellow. He seemed to have known both kids.
Do you want to try finding Derek for us, Sean?
His last name is Singleton. I'm assuming there's not very many Derek Singletons in the area.
Who's Derek?
He is the friend of both missing kids that we looked after today.
Gotcha. Sure. I'll pull out my phone and do a quick Facebook search from Jennifer to see if it comes up with anything. Jennifer, insert last name.
Yeah. So searching on Facebook, you said? Yeah, you'll come up with Derek Singleton's page.
And just anything noticeable on it?
It is private, so again, it's one of those things where you can see like the main profile picture. It's 2017, everybody. It's a private Facebook. But you can see like his main profile picture is like him with another kid that they look like they're sophomore, but they both have like 40s in their hands, and they're like, you know, like bro arm hugging and like laughing in the picture. The rest of the page is like covered in a mix of like, you know, some band logos and just a couple comments that were like posted that show up outside of being private.
Jennifer will go ahead and send him a friend request as well. I mean, it's a girl a few years older than him who's somewhat attractive and located in the same area, so I mean, we'll see if he just randomly accepts.
Sean's making so many new friends.
Sean is going to be the most popular girl in the entire town. Okay? I am the most popular girl.
If the actual police catch anyone to what we're doing, we're all going to fucking jail. They will never... We're trying to save them from demons. We're dead. They're just gonna execute us.
Whoa. You think I saved my browser history? Number 2, you're acting like I'm not doing this all through a VPN. Number 3, you act like I saved this password or any of this information on my phone.
He's got this covered.
Doesn't make it less creepy.
Somebody from Amsterdam is logging into Facebook and friending these people.
All right. So you sent the friend request. He doesn't seem that he's online, so you'll have to wait a bit to get back. See if he does respond. Are you guys all still together, or did you start to split up?
It's getting late, or what time is it?
Sean's the only one with the car, so we're all in Sean's car.
Yeah. It is getting closer to 8. You know that any other leads might not be the best to try and run out this time, and you guys did talk before that you were hoping to maybe meet up with Brother to get his weigh in on charging in or holding back.
These are all truths. And I'm going to do a little bit of looking around about the church's information on Fae and things.
I think it might be good to call it a night. I do have a hard drive to search through, photos to mess with, and some basic bitching to do.
You ug it up, bro.
I'm gonna stop and get a frappuccino, buy some Uggs, and get on Facebook.
Can you please, like, take a picture of yourself as Sean and try to, like, Photoshop yourself to look like a girl? Photoshop beard out, make your hair longer. I'm Shonifer.
Put on a flannel shirt with a flannel skirt and some Uggs. With a frappuccino in my hand.
Yes.
What is this redneck basic?
That's all he knows.
Alright, let me know if there is anything else you guys want to cover this game, because actually I would like to wrap it here, because we do need Brother to get back involved. He was busy today with some errands that we'll find out about next week, but yeah, we want to definitely get Brother back in here.
Yep, I don't really want to go too much further without him either.
Alright, anything else you guys wanted to cover? No? Alright then. So Sean will respectively drop off Chad at his hotel, and Father Lily at the Church of the Holy Cross head back to his hotel to do some basic bitching. Alright. So for everybody still watching, tomorrow night will be Vampire the Masquerade New York as usual. We will be sort of wrapping it up as a season. Then we'll have some goodies following that. We'll have more information about that tomorrow. Friday, just as a note, I'll announce this and put it on Twitter and everywhere else. We will be missing out on Anarchs, because Kozark and I will be traveling. But then we'll be back at it once again on Monday and Tuesday the week after. So thank you for everyone, to everyone who followed, everyone who watched, everyone who comes out all the time. Love you all. We really appreciate you coming out to see our games. We will see you later. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.